being the only candidate here on the congressional level, I'm not going to necessarily attempt to answer this question. Although I'm delighted that we have more opportunity for variety and choice and comparison than when I was in the legislature for school, health care purchasing. We have opportunities. I think now we can look at other sources to find out what might work better. We have colleges like Adrian and Siena Heights here in this community. We can look at how they do their health care for their faculty and administration. But this all may be a moot point since the passage of the health care reform that's gone on in Washington. It might be a moot point for the taxpayer because it will be mandated in various ways. The impact of what's going on and what, if allowed to be implemented, and the cost of increases that will take place to supply the required mandates of the federal government with the Obamacare health care reform plan that went through. If it is fully implemented by 2013, 2014, ultimately, this may be a moot issue as we go on. So I guess what I would tell you is, if I'm given the privilege to go back and represent you in Washington, I will do everything possible to repeal and replace this Obamacare plan and put in place an opportunity for more competition. Things like, and I think these are things that we ought to be looking at the state level as well, things like the opportunity to purchase across state lines health care coverage, to increase the environment, the variety and the competition, the cost issues, and the opportunity to have association health plans for small businesses to be able to join together an economy of scale if they so determine that that would be best to supply insurance for their employees, to increase the flexibility and the opportunity of health savings accounts so individuals be consumers. I think that's good for public employees to do as well. I appreciated my health savings account. It was my money. I chose how to use that, and we could have, in consultation with my doctor or medical provider, to deal with, as we've done in the past here in Michigan when I was in office, the reform of tort liability, put a cap on non-economic damages, and to give benefits, the same benefits that we give to businesses, give to taxpayers if they purchase health care. These are all incentives, no mandates, no tax increases. And I think those of us who are public employees and are paid for doing a service that we've been asked to do by the taxpayer, yet we ought to be willing to say, if the taxpayer is suffering, we ought to find whatever way possible it is to reduce the burden on them so that they will succeed as well. And we will succeed when they succeed too. Thank you. Adding to what Bruce said about reading, absolutely, absolutely required. And those of you that have businesses and hire employees, you know the importance of that, that they be able to read. But also, I would say, in schools, please, please, teach the Constitution. Teach those principles that are timeless in that Constitution as a literal document that protects our society and motivates many good things. Teach the value of capitalism that has fostered greatness in this nation and has blessed the rest of the world as well. Encourage and foster responsibility, accountability, self-reliance in students, and model that as teachers and administrators, as school board members, and as parents, and public schools, well, education in general. Understand the value of modeling service as public servants. Serve the public. Understand the challenges that they face as taxpayers, as parents, and otherwise. I know in my efforts in Congress when I was there, the fact that, for one example, Congress used the Social Security system as a slush fund, not a trust fund. I implemented a law, I offered a bill that sadly sat in committee that would have put a lockbox around Social Security to keep the promise, secure the contract. And we as public servants need to show to our communities and our students that we work for them, and we want their best.